This is your Leeds Jewish station, Radio JCOM. Radio JCOM.
Hello and welcome again to 7-Day Ramble with Barbara Cline. You're listening to Radio JCOM, broadcasting on the internet at www.radiojcom.com. And in the studio today, I've got my friend Denis Fisher. Hello again, Denis.
Hello, Barbara.
Thanks for coming in.
Thank you for inviting me.
Right, are you feeling very well this morning?
I am indeed,
oh,
yes.
Jolly good, because if you're not feeling very well and you want the doctor, the surgery is now going to refer you to the chemist. So, or, you know,
wait a minute,
pharmacist.
Excuse me, can I just ask
on.
a question there? My understanding was they're not going to refer me to a chemist. I have the option to go to the chemist.
Right,
rather than go to the...
corrected, okay. A pharmacist, a physio and a paramedic. And I've got a question and answer here. How will it work? Patients calling their surgery to make an appointment, you'll be questioned by the receptionist, which you are anyway,
yes,
aren't you?
Yes.
They will decide how ill you
that's
are.
good, yes.
Yes.
That's very good.
And will say recommend you to whichever, depending on what you're saying. And yes, it says, yes, the patients will always be able to request to see the GP. You are quite right, Denis. I sit corrected. Anyway, what are the drawbacks? Well, the pharmacists, paramedics and physio, they don't have the same level of training as GPs.
Mm-hmm.
So what would you do if you rang up and they would recommend you to contact
Well, given what you've just announced there, that you ring your surgery and you get quizzed by the receptionist, the receptionist can therefore is as good as giving the diagnosis if she decides you need to go see the chemist.
Yes.
I think it's probably a good thing. I'm not sure the initial setup is perfect, but certainly if you can go to a chemist for something which is relatively minor, it certainly takes the pressure off the GPs, because I don't know about you, but recently I tried to make an appointment at the GP and I had to wait 3 weeks. Thankfully it wasn't anything urgent. But 3 weeks to see a GP, it's
I know
it's not really acceptable, is it?
It's not, but if it was really, really urgent, you would be able.
Yes,
you can get same day. And then they always say that if it's absolutely urgent, there's something, you dial 999, and then that puts pressure on the other people.
We certainly need a shake-up in the NHS. There's another proposal to merge surgeries, isn't there, this morning? That I
merge surgeries?
Yeah, to make it easier for... they're going to, here we are, surgeries to band together in networks of 7 or 8 to swap staff and offer more evening appointments.
Oh, right, okay.
So, it's...
But they're always saying that surgeries have got thousands of patients on anyway. How are they going to cope with extras? Or are they going to give them something that would be more to their...
Well, this all goes back to Tony Blair, doesn't it? When he renegotiated the contracts for the GPs, he sort of cut down their hours, their surgery hours, increased their salaries, and who's not going to accept that? And consequently, we're left with the situation that we've got now.
Yeah, we've got more and more doctors who are retiring early.
Yes, indeed.
Because of that.
Indeed.
Yeah. It's quite something. We'll see what happens next time you ring the surgery up.
I'll tell them, yes. Send me to the chemist instead, yes.
Okay. Okay, so have you got something else?
Yes, I just picked this little piece out about Eamon and Ruth's secret to happiness is to have separate TV rooms. Now, I suppose if you think about that logically as well...
Not a bad idea.
The husband wants to watch football.
Yep.
The wife wants to watch EastEnders or some other soap.
Right.
If you do have the opportunity to go into another room, invariably I think the wife would be relegated to the room with the smaller TV while the husband has the big screen.
Depends on the wife.
Well, yes, yeah. But yeah, I think that's probably a good idea. They've got separate rooms for watching TV, and the couple who have been married for 8 years but been together for more than 20 years said the secret to a happy home was to keep TV time separate. particularly because Belfast-born Holmes, he likes to talk through TV. Now, that can be very irritating.
Yes, I can
when
imagine.
you
Yes,
try to watch
actually,
something.
she does get very irritated with him, so I can see that being a good idea.
Indeed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Indeed.
But you just brought up EastEnders, and it's just reminded me of something that I read today.
Yeah.
They're making a new set for EastEnders.
That's
aren't
right.
they? You're turning the pages,
Yeah.
you're going to find it.
BBC dropped a brick over the new £86 million EastEnders set.
Yes. Now, to me, I did a double take on that, and I thought, this is it's a film set, okay, a television film set.
Yeah.
You could build a small town for houses for that amount of money.
But have you seen what they're quibbling over?
They're quibbling over the type of brick.
Yes.
Whereas the original one was, I think it was plasterboard made to look like brick, and now they're quibbling or looking for a special type of brick to build
They've spent £44,000 on brick samples.
Yeah, it takes a lot to make me gobsmacked, but that certainly did. I mean, it really does.
Labour MP Chris Evans suggested it might have been easier for BBC bosses to go to a DIY shop to look at bricks instead of delaying the project.
Yeah, absolutely.
That Mr Dawkins said it was, quote, really important to replicate the look and feel of Walford and Albert Square. Who really cares?
I don't.
A television viewer are going to say, do you know...
that's a nice brick.
Yeah, that's the wrong brick. Yeah,
yeah.
Wonderful,
yeah,
wonderful.
Absolutely, that really did get me. Something else that's got me as well. There's you can buy a kettle for £150.
Yes.
It's called a digital precision kettle.
Right.
And it takes 6 minutes to boil.
Yes, indeed. I think I did see that. Yeah.
So you can, by the time you've got that, you really don't want your cup of tea, do you?
No.
It takes 6 minutes to boil. So I think they're saying it's not such a good idea.
Well, 6 minutes to boil.
Yeah.
State of the art?
State of the art, yes. A gooseneck kettle. It's got a special,
Yes.
to pour out
It looks
the
a
tea.
beautiful design.
Doesn't
It's
it
got a
just?
gooseneck, yes.
Yes.
Can we just go back to the
Please
NHS
do.
for one moment here?
Yes.
We do constantly complain about the way that the NHS wastes money. Now, the NHS is hiring hundreds of social prescribers to refer patients to art classes and ballroom dancing lessons. Up to 1,000 advisors are being recruited across England to carry out almost 1 million appointments a year. And now what's it going to cost here? £25,000.
So what is this for people who are ill to make them feel better, or is this while you're waiting for your appointment?
Well, it's to get us more mobile. A handful of social prescribers already work in health trusts, earning up to £25,000 a year. They do not need medical qualifications, but should have experience at a charity or local council. NHS England wants its army of advisors to undertake 900,000 appointments a year by 2024. I mean, who comes up with these schemes?
Well, these are the people at the top. Some of the so-called, in inverted commas, managers or people who, if they took these people away at the top, then we would probably have enough money to run the NHS properly.
They're going to be
I've always said this.
They're going to be working from GP surgeries, and they will help patients to tackle such scourges of modern life as loneliness, alcoholism and depression. So let's go on dancing lessons then.
Well, that is not a bad idea actually, Denis, because the depression and is quite a thing at the moment.
Excuse me, Barbara. This is a cure. Alcoholism, dancing lessons is a cure for alcoholism.
No. Well, they would probably put them onto something else, but they would have to go to probably a counsellor first. But yes, dancing just keep you mobile, I would imagine. I mean, our own centre, there's people who go dancing there and they love it, and the chair aerobics.
They do, but
like
it's not
that.
prescribed by the NHS, is it?
But it helps make people feel better. So yes,
Okay.
the idea is good, but the fact that it's going to cost money and it's going to come under the NHS, then that's not so good. But I think they'll find that there are various day centres that run these courses anyway. So, you know, but the idea itself is not such a bad idea.
We're still on here
Okay.
on NHS. Britain is worse off for GP cover than Malta.
Yeah.
Now, there's a comparison table here, how we compare the number of GPs per 100,000 people. In Portugal, they've got 253 GPs per 100,000 people. We've got 76. We're way down the table here. Romania have got more GPs.
Yeah, well,
Estonia have got more GPs.
Well, they keep saying that we do need more GPs, but you know what? It's going to be an ongoing thing. And on that note, Dennis, we've come to our musical...
Already?
Yes, already so soon.
My
And this is your choice of music, and it's beautiful.
Thank you.
That I heard of once in a lullaby. Somewhere over the rainbow skies are chimney tops, that's where you'll find me. Over the rainbow
beautiful voice of Eva Cassidy, Somewhere Over the Rainbow. What a talent, and left us so young,
Absolutely.
didn't she? Yeah. Beautiful. Okay, Denis, what else have you got there?
Well, sometimes talk about the biter bit, somebody being paid back. The irony in this little piece about Mugabe, the ousted Zimbabwe president, he had £700,000 in cash stolen from his home. I think that's tremendous, actually. According to court papers, Mugabe, who's 94, had filled a suitcase with nearly $1 million, which is about £750,000, and stashed it in the library of his country home in Zvimba, west of the capital, in 2016. Only £60,000 was found in the bag on January the 6th this year, so
dear.
some of his relatives had been dipping it. I think that's lovely. I do, really.
Okay. What can I say? Okay, let's come to... What do you think about this Labour MP who is in jail for... she said she wasn't behind the wheel.
Perverting the
Yes.
course of justice. Yeah.
Or was it fraud or something, or
Well, yeah.
whatever it was? Anyway, she's still... And she's been thrown out by the Labour Party.
Yes.
So she has now decided to become... independent. So she's still a JP, still getting her 77k salary. But in today's paper, it has said that the judge has increased her sentence.
Did they say how much by?
Well, I don't know. It just says that there had been so many objections to it that it wasn't enough, that they've reassessed it and have increased it. So now we'll wait and see whether she will. Actually, I thought if you couldn't be a member of Parliament if you had a jail sentence.
It's got
Am
to be
I
a year.
wrong?
It's got to be a year. If anything under a year
Right.
is not automatic
Okay.
expulsion
Okay.
from
Well, I
as an
think
MP.
at the moment it was a few months, wasn't it?
She's got 3 months. Yeah.
3 months. So it just depends on how much longer the judge has given
Yeah.
her.
The arrogance of this woman astonishes me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
absolutely.
really does.
Yeah.
Never. It's her only source of income, her £77,000 a year.
Oh,
Yeah.
dear.
And
What a shame. Yeah.
her son is not really
Yeah.
of renown and repute.
No,
from his
this is very
behaviour.
true, and this is somebody who is
She's an MP, for goodness
Exactly.
sake.
exactly.
But of course,
Well,
anyway,
goodness doesn't come into it, does
No.
it? But talking about arrogance,
Yes.
what about Jack Shepherd?
I know he's another one.
Yes,
He's another one.
showing arrogance. This is the young man who is called the Speedboat Killer.
Mhm.
He's changed his name, or he wants to be called as Jack Shepardy, because this is how his Georgian friends pronounce it, and he now wants to become a Georgian himself, so that he can stop being extradited back here.
I
Yes.
get lost for words sometimes.
Yes, I know what you mean.
When I read these things.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a convicted killer,
Yeah.
convicted of manslaughter,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
He fled the country, and he's been living quite the high life, I understand.
Absolutely. Yeah.
He gave the prosecutors in Georgia a false address. They still don't know exactly where he's been living for the last 10 months, but he's been seen on the nightlife scene and the bar scene, everything. He's got this girlfriend. He's got a wife who's kicked him out anyway back in the UK with a child.
Yeah.
He's got a record of womanising. He was also facing a charge of glassing somebody
Yes.
in a
yes,
pub.
Yeah.
He's another real piece of work, this guy. But unfortunately, the law works in very strange
It
and
does.
very slow ways.
It does.
And what about, he's been getting legal aid, for heaven's
Well,
sake.
this is the big thing. This is the big thing. They're hoping now that will be taken away.
He found £15,000 to engage Georgian lawyers,
Yeah.
didn't he?
Yes.
But we've been
And the Georgian lawyers are saying it was a tragic accident, and as he was not driving the boat, but he says, it is not. I'm looking for the words that they use, and I
Criminal
can't
offence.
find it. in Georgia.
Yeah.
So therefore, they're saying he is an innocent man.
He will cling on
Oh,
as long as he
absolutely.
possibly can. I hope, really, I sincerely hope they do get him back here, because
Yeah.
he's got to be made to face the consequences of what he did.
Yeah.
It was a terrible thing what he did.
Yeah.
I mean, he left the girl to drown, for crying out
Oh,
loud.
and absolutely. So,
Right.
what else have you got?
Is there anything better than being a failed football manager?
Depends
Because-
on how much money you're
Exactly.
given.
They all walk away with big chunks of cash. Now,
Yeah. And
what-
go on to the next one.
that's right. Now, what is better than being a failed football manager is an ex-prime minister, because I read here about Cameron, our lovely David Cameron, who has just published his earnings, and he has already amassed £781,580 in total equity. He's earning up to £120,000 an hour giving speeches overseas.
Yeah, he's now on the speaker's circuit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I can't be the ex-prime minister, but I'd love to be. Maybe I'd have a go at being a football manager, I think.
Do you think it's a bit late
Maybe
to
so.
start?
Maybe so. Maybe so.
Okay,
Maybe so.
okay. I've read something here that in Tesco, they're now going to axe some of the deli counters, the fresh food
Yes.
counters.
Yes.
That's a sad state of affairs, isn't it?
Yes.
I mean, apart from the fact that people will be losing their jobs, they're doing it as a cost-cutting thing. So, I don't understand. Fresh food counters in 90 Tesco superstores are going to close, and hundreds more will shut on weekdays. So there's plenty of stuff are going to be axed.
There's got to be lack of demand, hasn't it, for it?
Yeah, I don't think people like fresh food. I mean, there's a thing going on at the moment about packaged food in plastics and
Yes,
things.
yes.
So I would have thought that going to the fresh food counters would have been a better thing rather than take it away.
Apparently not, though.
No.
I don't
Obviously,
think
I'm not thinking in the right
no,
way.
I don't think they take these decisions lightly.
No, I'm sure they don't.
It's all cost-driven, surely, and they must have looked at it very carefully, because if it was profitable, they would do it.
Yeah.
Talking about that, it says here, hands off our hummus.
Oh.
Yeah, middle-class favourites, hollandaise, sauce and pesto, also under threat from new calorie limits,
Oh, right.
which would come sort of under the same heading as what we've just been talking about.
Yeah.
This drive to make us all very weight conscious now.
Yes.
They're trying to limit the amount of calories we take.
But this is
in.
my whole point. If you buy stuff fresh and do it yourself rather than buy things, that are already packaged and in bulk and all the rest of it, and takeaways and things like that, then obviously when, the weight problem is going to increase.
There's a lovely picture here of
Yes, we like pictures
food.
on radio.
We do, yes. I'll just show it to the microphone here. Foods in the firing line. Yogurt-coated raisins. I mean, they're gorgeous, aren't they? But there's a
I like chocolate with raisins.
455 calories. It's all bad news. I won't read it out.
No,
it's
don't.
all bad news.
No, I'll still go and eat it. I love a little bit of what you fancy. But this is it, you see, a little bit. Is,
moderation in everything.
I know,
yeah.
absolutely everything. And I've got something here which must. I mean, I don't know how I would have felt if this had happened to me. But in Cardiff, there were a number of people in a lift which kept going up and down and didn't stop at the doors or anything.
Yeah.
So, of course, after a while, and it was 40 minutes, which is a very, very long time. Of course, people were panicking until it happened. That must have been absolutely dreadful.
Will I ever
And the
get
manager of the centre where it was apologised for the fault. Nobody was in danger, but we'd just like to apologise for those affected and thank them for their patience.
Did they have any choice?
I wonder. We will be liaising with those customers directly. I wonder what compensation they'll be getting.
How can you compensate somebody for that?
Oh, I don't know, but
Oh, dear.
pay the doctor back to the NHS. Pay the doctor's bill.
Do you watch Question Time?
I do.
Yes. I have to say, the last couple of weeks under its new leadership,
Yes.
Fiona Bruce, I think she's done extremely well.
Absolutely.
I did have my doubts as whether she'd be strong enough, because I thought she might be too nice. However, there's been this thing about week before last when Diane Abbott was on, and a big complaint has come through from the left of the Labour Party that there've been accusations of racism against her because she was jeered more than the rest of the panel.
Yeah.
So it's now said because she's a black lady and it was racist.
I don't think...
Nobody sought to think that because the woman is actually not very intelligent and some of the stuff
I was going to say, and she never has an answer, correct answer. Or an answer for anything, or if anybody asks her numbers or anything, she doesn't know.
No.
And as we were talking earlier on, before we came on air, this would have been. Go on, you say it. She would have been our next
Home Secretary.
Home Secretary.
God forbid.
Absolutely.
God forbid.
Can you imagine?
So they've been demanding an apology from Fiona Bruce, who, in my opinion, correctly has said she's not going to apologise.
I
There's
would
nothing to
think
apologise for.
Absolutely not. I agree with you. I think she's doing a wonderful job. I listen to that watch that sometimes on the programme, and I got very frustrated with David Dimbleby because I didn't think he was a particularly good chairman at times. I don't think he stopped.
No, he lost control
He did lose
latterly.
control, So hopefully Fiona Bruce will keep on and stop people. And I think they'll listen to her because she's got that voice of authority as well.
And,
don't you think
and she's
so?
pretty.
And she's pretty, yes. So what can I say? But yes, no, I think she's doing an excellent job. And on that note, on that excellent job, we've come to the end of the programme, Denis. Thank you so much for coming.
My pleasure. I've enjoyed it.
Right, you've been listening to 7 Day Ramble on Radio JCOM, broadcasting on the internet at www.radiojcom.com. The programme today was produced by Noel Sumroy and presented by me, Barbara Cline. Hope you enjoyed all our discussions and will join us again soon.
Ba